that you're here. Today we're going to talk about grace, empathy, humility, the antidote to judgmental attitudes. It's easy to judge. It's very easy to judge, especially when we know so much, we are so talented, and we do so much, and we have so much strength, and we're doing everything by our own will. It's almost like we rely a lot on it's almost like we rely a lot on our ability to do things, so much so that we easily judge people who are unable to do or who don't do as much as we do. It's easy to judge others based on their actions, beliefs, or even appearance. Have you ever heard this? People will judge you based on the way you dress. People will judge you based on the way you look. But we as Christians, are we to follow these sayings or this culture or this way of doing things? You will notice that this is something that is so popular and so widespread that it is even in our churches. And it's a sad thing. We tend to quickly categorize people. We categorize them as good or as bad, depending on what we judged of them. We can categorize them as successful or failures, depending on what we see. Are they driving fancy cars? Are they dressing with makes? That's how we determine if somebody, do they have a house? That's how we determine if somebody is successful or if the person is a failure. So it's based on our own perspectives, our own standards. This is what we determine. We know that, yes, based on what I know, this person is X, Y, Z. And that's judgment. That's being judgmental. As Christians, we are called to a higher standard of grace, of empathy, and humility. Sometimes we forget, actually often we forget that we ourselves have, imperfections. We're only where we are because God allowed us to be there. We're only doing things that we do because God allowed us to do it. I'm going to give a simple example. If you're somebody that is able to be on time very often, don't forget that it's by grace that God allowed you to be on time. So extend grace to people who are not on time, right? It's just an example. Remember, it's not our own efforts. We don't deserve, or it's not by merit that we got where we got. It's not by being special, because Jesus died for all of us. If we truly understand this, we will extend grace to people in every area of our lives. So you're able to attend church more often to somebody so you can judge them because they don't attend as much as you. Do you remember the story of the laborers? In that story, the master had laborers, and some came at the early hour, and some came later, and they all got the same reward. It's in the Bible. So that story reminds us that God doesn't see differences between who did too much or who did what more. There's a reward, and He's going to give us a reward, the same reward as He decides, because He knows more. He has the greater picture. He understands things more. You might see your sister or brother and judge them based on what they do or they fail to do, but you don't have the greater picture. And honestly, it's like being a false witness, and which God hates. You can't testify of something you don't know everything about. If you don't know 100%, then don't judge. Just hold off. Don't judge what you don't know. Don't talk about things that you don't know. Also, if we practice empathy, which means we put ourselves in people's shoes, it will be very difficult then to judge, because then we would understand people better. And the moment we understand someone, it's hard to judge them. Finally, we need to cultivate a spirit of humility. Humility is reminding yourself that everything I do and I'm able to do is because of God. If you're able to speak fluently, if you're able to talk eloquently, it's because God gave you the ability. Because the moment you don't have a voice, it's over. You can know all the knowledge, you can know all the books, but if you can't bring out a sound, then you're nothing. So it's God that gives you that ability. Let's remember to practice grace. Let's remember to practice empathy, humility. Every single time we're tempted to judge or to condemn someone, and to determine that they failed or they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Let's never forget that the grace that brought us this far is the grace of God. So that's the same grace that can transform somebody else. The grace that brought us this far is the same grace that can transform somebody else's life, anybody else's life. So instead of judging, why don't we pray for people? Why don't we pray for the shortcomings that we see? Why don't we pray for God to help them improve or be better? That's all I wanted to share. I hope somebody was blessed, and I'll see you next time. Until then, God bless.